and welcome back to another edition of Train Wreck Tuesday. I am your host, definitely not Lucas Bancroft, back with you once again to cover everything that went down in the race for the stake belt. A lot of exciting action, some upsets. Now without further ado, let's get into the action. In a rather low-scoring affair, we have the Beer Blancs taking down the Commish with a score of 89-58. Both teams struggling with injury. The Commish not even able to break 60. Injuries to Ayuk and Christian Watson throughout this game, and that running back situation still not figured out. Another quiet game from Travis Kelce. For the Beer Blancs, still able to get it done with solid performance from the tight end sensation Brock Bowers, as well as a solid game out of Josh Jacobs. Jaden Daniels exiting that game in the first quarter with a rib injury. Looks like Beer Blancs were going to be getting Tua back, but I believe that Jaden Daniels has stolen that starting position if he can remain healthy. Hope you bet the over on this next matchup as we have Chef Ryan's Rad team taking down, seeing a new name. I believe Tua Girls One Cup has changed their name to Trading Everyone Send Offers. Despite putting up a lot of points, Trading Everybody is sitting at 1-6, while Chef Ryan's Rad team is looking super rad. Back-to-back weeks winning that $50 prize and putting up 157, beating Trading Everyone by almost 40 points here. Now we have Baker Mayfield continuing a stellar campaign. Kareem Hunt, where did this guy come from? 22 out of him, 29 out of Rachaad White. That Tampa Bay offense is cooking. Now Mahomes, for Trading Everyone, hasn't really lived up to what we expect from him. Again, solid game all around, but just not able to get it done when Chef Ryan's Rad team is looking super rad. This week we had It's Not Brain Surgery taking down Pajamarama 141-130. Almost a late comeback there for Pajamarama. They fall to 2-5 after a tough loss last week to the Christian McBlackfreeze, and not looking great for Pajamarama despite a very solid team and some solid point totals. Just getting unlucky, it looks like. Lamar Jackson almost 50. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's been absolutely stellar all season, looking like possibly he could be the fantasy MVP. On the other side of the ball, It's Not Brain Surgery. You got Jalen Hurts with a solid game. Amari Cooper landing in Buffalo and connecting with Josh Allen for a touchdown in his first game. 16 points out of him. Saquon has also continued to dominate as well. And that Cincinnati defense, when you're getting over 30 points out of your special teams, you probably got a good chance at winning. It's Not Brain Surgery, moving to 3-4. Large team in that 3-4 pack. Despite not even getting one full point out of all of their wide receivers, Jessica Texier's Investments takes down the Dicker Downs 107-91. Josh Allen continuing to play quite well. 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown on top of that. Breece Hall, a great game on Sunday Night Football, 26 out of him. And Chris Boswell, man, that guy's got a leg, 14 points out of him. Other side of the ball, Kyler Murray with a decent game on Monday night, just not enough to get him over the finish line. Cameron Dicker, 2 50-yarders, 2 49-yarders, and 5 total field goals for 21 points. Amazing game out of him. Dicker Downs moving to 4-3, while Jesse's Girls 2 in a row at 3-4, hoping to keep it rolling against Pajamarama this week. While he may have been lucky out there in Sin City, head coach Steve Carr and the Golden Taints not able to get it done this week against No Name Team. No Name Team winning 126-87. On the back of Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, and Joe Mixon, double digits all up and down the roster for No Name Team. Meanwhile, CJ Stroud with a tough game 6 points out of him. A.J. Brown back from injury. Solid game with 20 points. Tank Dell putting up a goose egg. Definitely hurting Golden Taint, especially with that Nico Collins injury. Golden Taint moving to 4-3. Well, no-name team also in that 3-4 pack, trying to keep it rolling and crawl up the standings. After a week plagued with injuries, Luke, what you made me do gets back on track against Kelly's Majestic team with a win of 131-115. Sam Darnold, Brian Thomas Jr., and 20 points all over the place for Luke, what you made me do, continuing to look like that powerhouse that we did not see last week, but keeping the league on notice with a solid score of 130 points. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, Kelly's Majestic team, not a terrible performance, would have beaten a lot of teams out there in the league. Jordan Love, 3 passing touchdowns. You also have Derrick Henry continuing to do Derrick Henry things and Derrick Henrying all over the field. And then you got the Njoku out in Cleveland. Surprising game out of him, 76 yards on 10 receptions, hooking up with Jameis Winston eating W's. Let's see, both these teams, Luke, you made me do 5-2. Kelly's Majestic team is now 4-3. We have Christian McBlackfree taking down Miso Brady with a off week from Miso Brady. Final score 96-84. Tyreek Hill only with 1 catch. Also have Stevenson, rough game out of him, as well as he looks like he put a lot of chips into that Patriots offense and that just didn't play out. Brock Purdy with a decent game, but 3 picks hurt him there. You have Fairbairn, one of the top scorers in all of fantasy this season, keeping it consistent with 12. Now, looking at the Christian McBlackfrees, they may need to change their name to the Dad Slayers, beating Pajama Rama last week, now beating Miso Brady, moving to 3-4, and maybe critics are saying getting a little lucky here with some of these wins. 10 points from Anthony Richardson, still hasn't really figured out the quarterback situation. Despite the injury to Osama bin Watson, looks like he's done for the season. But Christian McBlackfree and head coach Ariel De Silva, we actually got a chance to get an interview with him. We'll see that coming up next.
Super meaty, have a melon taste in them, and they're gonna be deep. Absolutely delicious. Entering our 2.
Once again, wanted to thank all of the viewers and a quick special shout out to a few of our sponsors as well. This show could not be possible without them. I am your host, definitely not Lucas Bancroft. We are moving into week 8 and things are starting to heat up. You are going to make sure your rosters are set in stone as the season is starting to intensify. And, teams that aren't maybe doing so well, you do have to always remember that there is that coveted consolation bracket. It may not be the prize that is the steak belt, but it's something, folks. I am your host once again, not Lucas Bancroft, signing off.